So the pro-choice movement is pro-choice, and they want the woman that's pregnant to have a choice. But then if the woman doesn't choose what the pro-choice movement wants her to choose, they can start behaving in a certain way towards the women that choose to have a baby and towards the people who are motivating them not to kill the unborn baby. You began to experience some strange, I think we could call it deep state interference. I've done some homework on you and your efforts, and some of these forces that intruded into your life, it's pretty scary and troubling. Tell us about this open-minded pro-choice movement and how they began to interfere in your desire to save unborn babies and also to save the mothers from all of this.
The pro-choice movement only has one choice: abortion and abortion only. In 2015, 2016, I was sitting on the Texas Women's Health Committee for the Health and Human Services, and we had defunded Planned Parenthood in 2011. And when we did that, the Obama administration at that time came in and said to our then Governor Perry, "You cannot take Title X funds, which is about $70 million a year to Texas, if you're not referring for abortions." And Governor Perry was a very colorful soul, and I don't know what he said, but essentially he said Texas will take care of its own poor women, and he set aside $100 million. And there we were at that point in 2016, looking at $240.1 million that could not be used by an abortion provider or an affiliate. I'm sitting on this committee of 12. There are 3 of us that are truly pro-life. I know the other 9 are going to lie and say that they do not perform or refer for abortions. And how do I know that? They're taking Title X, which required that at the time. So being who I am, I thought, oh, pro-lifers can do this. We'll just get the pro-life community pregnancy resource centers to change their mission statement, to change their operations, and we can take care of those women. So I applied for, and the Hyder Group was granted $7 million of those dollars that could have gone to Planned Parenthood. And one of them called me the first day and said, "You will fail. You will fail because if you succeed, Planned Parenthood cannot get money, but you will fail and be discredited." And I thought, not in Texas, but oh, was I wrong. And so I encountered the deep state of Texas Health and Human Services. They never put all of our providers in. We started with 23. We wound up with 35 in 2 years. They only counted 12 of our providers. It was a kind of a 3-pronged approach. It was the deep state fighting us and wouldn't let us get credit for all of our work or anything. And then if they needed a bad story on us, they would call the media and they would immediately print it. And then they had the pro-choice people. This is what I did not expect. They broke into our office every week. It was terrorism at its worst. They would do things like take everything out of the refrigerator. They would come in and turn all the lights, leave all the lights on. It was just terrorism. But the most interesting part I'm going to tell you was the listening device. Now, when they broke into our office, we would call the police every time we filed a police report. So one time the chaplain came and he said, "Carol, you should look at this bookcase. This would be a great place for a listening device." The listening device was in the top right-hand drawer of my desk. So I say to the staff, okay. I'm writing notes. We're not telling anybody, but I am talking to my staff. I recognize now that was a problem. I go up to the other end of the building. I'm going to call the police from there so they can't hear it in my office. I go up there. I'm calling the police, and by now we're on a first name basis with the police department. And I'm making this report, and 4 people charge down the hall and stop at me, which I didn't think, I was so naive. I didn't think about any of this. And they said, "We're with the FBI and we're here to collect that device." Okay, so I'm still on the phone, remember reporting it. So I call my IT person and say, "Would you take them back? And I'll be with you in just a few minutes." I complete my call. I go back there. They give me cards. They say FBI agents. They say, "Okay, may we take this with us, this device with us? Well, Miss Naive here, yes. So they leave. They take the device. My board chair calls the FBI, who goes, you shouldn't have done that. And I'm going, well, what was I not supposed to do? She called the FBI. The FBI said, we've never been in your office. And if the FBI comes in your office, they come with a search warrant. And they have a chain of possession paper that is filled out on anything they take. That was not the FBI. Those were imposters. So I gave the enemy the listening device so it couldn't be traced. How did they know that I was making that report? There was a plant in the office. So
there's some forces out there that do not appreciate child sacrifice being stopped.
you're so correct. And I think you can see it now, because turn on the television, you never see a pro-life report about a baby, about a mother who's happy she gave life, about an unplanned pregnancy that is all right, or a woman that was raped that gave her baby life, or even a post-aborted woman who's had trouble and has finally come out through it by coming to Christ. You never see that story.